seated. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming on this lovely, warm Ann Arbor day. This is going to be interactive. I like that. I'm Kyle Logue, the Dean of the University of Michigan Law School. On behalf of the faculty and administration, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all here to Senior Day. This is the ceremony where we recognize and celebrate our students who are receiving their JD and LLM degrees. I'm very pleased you could join us, all of you. Class of 2025, who of course are honorees, but also their family and friends, as well as my colleagues here up on stage. Welcome one and all. We're also honored to have with us Regent Emerita Shauna Ryder-Diggs and Regent Emeritus Martin Taylor. Thank you both for joining us today. So graduating students, today is your day. So let me start by telling this audience a bit more about how incredible you are. At the beginning of each academic year, as the law school welcomes a new cohort of students, our fabulous Dean of Admissions, known to many of you as Dean Z, sends us an email. Sure. She deserves it. She sends us an email to the faculty introducing the incoming JD class. And this email communicates two basic messages. First, it tells us how brilliant you all are, individually and collectively. Second, it tells us how different and interesting you are in terms of your backgrounds, perspectives, and lived experiences. And honestly, the message has a third purpose, which is just to brag. Dean Z is, she's like, hey everyone, I just wanted to let you know that once again, my team and I have been able to pull off the impossible and bring you another unprecedentedly spectacular group of admitted students. No big deal. Anyway, it's definitely a flex, but because it's Dean Z, we let her get away with it. Anyway, back in August of 2022, Dean Z sent her email to us about you guys, the graduating JD class of 2025. What did we learn? We learned that you were selected from an applicant pool of 6,254 applicants, making that admissions process extremely competitive. You are the most diverse class in our history along both racial and LGBTQ+ dimensions. And at the same time, you had the highest median LSAT scores of any Michigan law class to date. You came to Ann Arbor from 44 states and 25 countries, bringing with you degrees from 129 colleges and universities, representing 53 distinct undergraduate majors. You also arrived with a dazzling array of talents and life stories. Among you are musicians and marching band veterans, varsity athletes and paralegals, bloggers and chefs. Some of you speak Mohawk and Navajo. One is an Arabic linguist. Others have served as museum docents and curators, or as licensed foster parents. Your class includes pageant participants, skilled tradespeople, and even 2 sets of siblings. Our 30 LLMs, who come to us from 17 countries, are no less impressive and interesting. Before joining us, one of you clerked for the Supreme Court of India. Another served as a legislative advisor to the Argentine National Congress. 5 were Fulbright scholars. 2 of you joined us as a married couple. For more than 130 years, students from around the world have come to Michigan to earn their Master of Law degrees. And from the very beginning, we have taken pride in assembling a class whose breadth of experience reflects our global mission, to welcome the leaders and best from every corner of the planet. So together, all of you, our JD and LLM students, have created a true intellectual community. And yet we know that we don't all see the world in the same way. You sometimes disagree with each other, and you disagree with us on small things and large. This fact is a feature, not a bug, of our approach to legal education. We seek to nurture a community where students can vigorously debate their passionately held commitments and do so with respect, empathy, and professionalism. And you all have made that possible. So today we celebrate all that you've accomplished since joining us at Michigan Law with deep pride and with real joy. But we must also recognize the moment in which you graduate. This is a time of profound uncertainty. Institutions we have long depended on, universities, law firms, even the judiciary, are being challenged. The rule of law itself, the foundation of our profession, is being undermined. And the values we have long upheld, equal opportunity, mutual respect, and the embrace of difference, are facing sustained attack. Yet even among these challenges, your presence here gives us reason for hope. Over the past 3 years, you have not only honed your legal skills, you have helped build a community grounded in honesty, intellectual curiosity, and mutual regard. You've shown that it's possible to engage across lines of disagreement without compromising your convictions, that it's possible to meet cynicism with decency and division with determination. That spirit, your spirit, is exactly what this moment demands. Now more than ever, the world needs lawyers with integrity, with skill, and with courage. Lawyers who can serve clients, yes, but also lawyers who will defend the essential values that underlie a free society: justice, fairness, and fidelity to truth. It will fall to you to uphold the institutions that make honest debate possible, that give law its meaning, and that keep democracy alive. So today, let us hold both truths at once: that not everything is right in our lives and in the world, and that this moment is still one of deep pride and celebration and joy. Because what you have accomplished is extraordinary. After hundreds of classes and clinics and papers and exams, after long hours and late nights, you have made it. You are graduating from one of the finest law schools in the world at one of the greatest universities in the world. And soon, you'll be taking your Michigan law degrees into the world, starting jobs as litigators or transactional lawyers, working at nonprofits or government agencies, clerking for judges whose rulings will shape the law, and who knows where you'll go from there, what your careers and your lives will look like 5 or 10 years from now. I'll tell you who knows. No one knows. And the reason is simple: because with a Michigan law degree, combined with your native talent and drive, the range of possibilities before you is virtually limitless. You're not just ready to think like a lawyer. You've learned to manage uncertainty, solve hard problems, and act with integrity under pressure. Those are the qualities the world needs, and you have them. You leave here with more than a degree. You leave with a set of tools and a set of values that will guide you no matter where your path leads. You're prepared not just to succeed, but to make a difference, and we've already seen you do it. So, with that in mind, it's my distinct pleasure to highlight a few of you whose remarkable achievements exemplify precisely what makes Michigan law graduates so extraordinary. We will honor their accomplishments together. So these are the recipients of the law school's highest honors: the Henry M. Bates Memorial Award, the Jane L. Mixer Memorial Award, and the Irving Sten Jr. Award. If you don't mind, hold your applause to the end, and when we get to the end, we will celebrate them all together. First, the Sten Award recognizes leadership as well as contributions to the law school community through extracurricular activities. Our Sten recipients are Ethan Morrison Greenberg, Alex Kremer, and Catherine Rifiotis Slavensky. Second, the Jane L. Mixer Memorial Award is presented to students who have made the greatest contributions that advance the cause of social justice. Our 2 recipients are Britt Dorton and Rory Peters. Finally, there's the Henry M. Bates Memorial Scholarship Award. Bates recipients are graduating students selected by the faculty as outstanding for their scholarship, personality, character, extracurricular activities, and promise of a distinguished career. Our 3 recipients this year are Caleb Ashley, Ali Corcoran, and Arthur Etter. In addition to the winners of the Bates Mixer and Stent Awards, many other awards are listed in the program. At this time, please join me in congratulating all of these award winners. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Britt Dorton, who was chosen by her classmates to speak on their behalf today. So Britt gave her first oral argument before the Michigan Court of Appeals on the first day of her 2L winter semester and won. She has since spent her time at Michigan Law arguing for justice in the Innocence Clinic, locating difficult-to-find witnesses, sometimes with satellite imagery, and even taking a 6-hour road trip during exams that may or may not have included a stop at a mob front. She's also famously known for having rickrolled the entire student body, accidentally ordering 150 sandwiches for a 30-person meeting, and this is my favorite, putting up handmade signs outside her Lawyers Club window begging champagne-popping undergraduates to just please be quiet. She studies for finals, there's more. She studies for finals to heavy metal, plays Robot Unicorn Attack during Pomodoro breaks, and once raised $900 for public interest fellowships through a fake egg rivalry on Law Open. She crochets, wears a different Halloween costume every day in October, provides professional quality photographs for her classmates, and always, I heard this from many classmates, she always checks in on her friends. She speaks truth to power, fosters learning among her colleagues, and brings joy wherever she goes. Please join me in welcoming our 2025 student speaker, Britt Dorton.
Thank you, Dean Logue. Thank you to the loved ones who are here today to celebrate, and to those who cannot be with us today or are no longer with us, all of whose love and support has carried us through law school. Thank you to my classmates for trusting me with this opportunity and for the honor of speaking here today. It has been a remarkable gift to know you, and I am honored by this opportunity. To each of you, the class of 2025, I want to first invite you to take in this moment, to take a deep breath in. You are graduating from law school. This is happening. No matter how hard it got or how many times we joked about giving up and dropping out, we made it here today together. Congratulations. Over the last 3 years, we have spent no small amount of time thinking about differences. What makes this case different from that one? What distinguishes the facts here from the past precedent? And on my first day at Michigan Law, I was keenly aware of what made me different. As someone who is chronically ill and disabled, I looked different too, with my bright blue walking cane and my N95 mask that I have to wear because my lungs don't work as they should. On the first day of orientation, we were led on a tour of the law school, including down to the library, a route that required several sets of stairs, which I, with my cane, couldn't navigate at the time. A librarian showed me the accessible route, which required me to take 3 separate elevators to get from the reading room to the printer. I couldn't walk the tour with my peers. I couldn't get down to the laundry room in the Lawyers Club. I couldn't share meals indoors. As my classmates walked up the stairs of Hutchins together to class, I rode on the old elevator alone, feeling so out of place. My disability made me different. It meant that I couldn't handle stairs, had to miss class for medical procedures, and felt uncomfortable when professors spoke of disability as a burden in classes. I wondered if I had made a huge mistake in coming to law school. But over the last 3 years, I found that my disability meant that I could also connect with clients with a better understanding of their situation. It meant that I could build trust by identifying their access needs and accommodating them. That I could use the creativity and adaptability that comes from a lifetime of having to find your own way to do things, to solve problems, and analyze the law from a unique perspective. The things that make us different are the things that make us powerful. We know this at Michigan Law, where we proudly proclaim the Michigan difference. It's not just a phrase. It is a commitment to kindness, to support, to collaboration. In a field known for being competitive and cold, we choose to believe that success and brilliance do not have to come at the expense of empathy or joy. We came here carrying our different experiences: a classically trained chef, a Broadway musician, a foster parent, a paralegal, a journalist, a teacher. We came here as immigrants, first-generation college students, and tribal citizens. And from the day we first set foot in the reading room, wide-eyed in hushed reverence, we found power in upco laughter, in study sessions over Dom's sangria, in urgently alerting our friends to the presence of Korean leftovers in Loco. Though we came from different places, we sought to become lawyers together. Here, we used our power to argue for clients in clinic, to advance scholarship through journals. We learned to think like a lawyer, stumbled through cold calls from both of the primi, which the students have decided is the plural for primus. Some of us found our partners here. One of us spent $203 on an egg at the SFF auction. And we learned not only with each other, but from each other. We witnessed how the contours of the law impacted our lives in different ways, looked at the world through the lens of our classmates' lived experiences, and found pieces of ourselves that could only be discovered through the friendships we forged in the halls of Jeffries and Hutchins. Our time here has changed us. The times ahead are changing too. We are in a moment where authorities seek to attack the things that make us different. They would have us believe that our peers are threats, our neighbors are enemies, that our trans and non-binary colleagues are dangerous, and our classmates who stand up for the right of people in Palestine to be free from occupation are evil. That our friends who bring their lived experience to the work they do have somehow stolen their place in this profession by doing so. Those who decry the values of diversity, of equity, of inclusion, want us to fear these differences because they know that there is power in them, and they fear that power. They fear the power of people whose lived experiences have made them compassionate, creative, resilient, and brave. Now, more than ever, we must embrace what sets us apart and celebrate those differences in one another. I have faith that we will do so, because from here on out, one of the things that makes us different is our distinction as an alumnus of Michigan Law. We will be known as lawyers who are as kind-hearted as we are sharp-witted, who believe that we do owe a duty of care to one another no matter what tort law tells us, and who know that success is not measured by the accumulation of wealth, but by how we pay our good fortune forward. This thing that makes us different will be something that makes us powerful, And of course, I would be remiss if I did not note that with great power comes great responsibility. May we wield that power to make the world kinder, to bring light where there is darkness, to bring justice where there has been harm. May we encourage those around us to find power in themselves, and may we fight for those who have been made to feel powerless. Let no one take that power from you. Do not give that power up to those who think that it can be bought or quashed by threat. The things that make you different are the things that make you powerful. My time at Michigan Law has made me different. I am grateful for each of you that I have shared this journey with, who has changed me for the better. I would not be the person I am today without all of you. When the challenges before us feel insurmountable, I will find power in the memories that we have shared and the love that I have found in this place with you. I hope each of you will be able to do the same and draw courage from one another. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Britt. That was excellent. It is now my great honor and pleasure to introduce David A. Breach from the class of 1994. I invited David to serve as our alumni speaker today, not only because he has been an incredibly successful lawyer and a highly respected leader in the business world for many years, but also because of the journey he's taken to get there. Born in Toronto and raised in southeastern Michigan, David Breach graduated from high school at the age of 16 and then became the first in his family to attend college. He enrolled at Eastern Michigan University, where in addition to going to school, he worked a full-time job selling meat products and bottled juice while taking night classes to earn his business degree, a path that took him 6 years to complete. After graduating from Eastern Michigan on the advice of the only lawyer he knew at the time, who was a staff attorney at the juice company where he worked, David enrolled at the Detroit College of Law. And there, for the first time, he found himself truly and fully captivated by the academic life. He was a very good student. After earning straight A's for 2 semesters, he transferred to the University of Michigan Law School, where he thrived, graduating with an exceptional academic record and earning membership in the Order of the Coif. Following law school, David began his legal career at Hahn & McMiller in Detroit. After 5 years there, he joined the large law firm of Kirkland & Ellis in Chicago, where he built a successful practice representing private equity clients. And after a few years in Chicago, David was among the K&E partners who helped establish the firm's office in San Francisco. His work in private equity there led eventually to his position at Vista Equity Partners, which is one of his longtime clients at the time. He joined them in 2014 as the Chief Operating Officer and Chief Legal Officer. Today, after leading the company through a period of extraordinary growth, he serves as both Chief Operating Officer and President. He is a truly extraordinary alum of the University of Michigan Law School and someone of whom we're very proud. Please join me in welcoming David A. Breach to Ann Arbor.
Well, I have to say it's no small task following Britt, and I feel like he stole a lot of my thunder. So Dean Logue, distinguished faculty, alumni, proud parents, and of course the graduates of the 2025 Michigan School of Law, I need to let you in on a little secret. You see, I wasn't supposed to be here. Standing at this podium, surrounded by some of the greatest legal minds, asked to impart wisdom about life, your professional careers, and this unknowable future that we're all facing, I can't help but think it wasn't supposed to be me up here. As Dean noted, 35 years ago, I was working as a bottled juice salesman, going to school at night, wondering what my life was going to be. To be honest, I wasn't making much progress in my degree. Strangely enough, I liked selling juice more than I liked going to school. As Dean noted, I graduated high school at 16 because I was double promoted from 3rd grade to 5th grade while I was in Canada. Because it turns out I was phenomenal at recess. And actually, I learned my times tables quicker than my classmates. And so, while I graduated at 16, I had a completely unexceptional record, completely average student. I did have to correct, I was not the first person to go to college. My older brother, sitting in the front row, is going to take homage with that. I was second, but we did grow up in a family where our parents grew up in a rural part of Canada and did not graduate high school. But during my time at Eastern, I found a love of work, and I started working full-time and going to school at night. And my academic pursuits really took a secondary role in my life. So how did I wind up here, a juice salesman from Eastern Michigan, as a proud graduate of the University of Michigan Law School, and as the president of one of the largest private equity firms in the United States? That's a little bit of what I want to share with you today, because along my journey, I learned some lessons that really served me well, and I hope that as you are all on the next phase of your journey, some of this will resonate with you. You know, it's interesting, when I told Dean Logue what my topic of my speech was going to be, I said, I'm not supposed to be here. And he said, you know what, David, there's a lot of folks sitting in front of you who probably feel the same way. So we're going to talk about that today. Now, I'm not here to tell you how to be successful, how to get rich, how to accumulate wealth and power, because that's not actually where true happiness comes from. Finding a real richness in your life doesn't have to do with the influence that you accumulate or your material success, but it really has everything to do with fulfillment, with your inspiration, with whether you think you're doing what you were put on this earth to do, and the relationships that you develop along the way that really enrich your life. I'm very fortunate for my professional achievements, but I'm actually more fortunate for the 30-year journey that I've been on and the joy that it's brought me, and really the support that I've had from my family, from my friends, and from my mentors that have enabled me to achieve heights that I didn't think I ever knew about, let alone thought I could achieve. When I talk to folks, I say, in my experience, successful people have had 3 things converge. They've had talent, they've worked hard for their success, but they've also been lucky along the way. Now, all of you are clearly talented, otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here. And when the dean walked through your statistics, I realized I couldn't be here anymore, although I'm glad I'm here now. But that talent is not enough to take you where you want to be. And by the way, you've all been told that you need to work hard in life to be successful, to get ahead. But that's not really what you need to do. You need to work hard, but you need to do it over an extended period of time. People really underestimate the power of stamina, the power of getting up every day, week after week, month after month, year after year, and presenting your best self. And what makes that so hard? Because life is going to get in the way. You're going to have difficulties. You might have a boss that gives you a bad review. You may have a family member that's afflicted with an illness. You may have relationship issues. You may have other circumstances that just come up outside of your control. And the real question is going to be, can you overcome those setbacks? Can you overcome those obstacles and continue to stay focused on your goal and continue to show up every day being your best self? Now, some of these issues are going to be mistakes that you all made or that I made. And the real question is, as you make those mistakes, are you going to learn from them and use that to move you forward? And then other times it's going to be something completely outside of your control. And the real question is going to be, how do you react to it? How do you overcome it? How do you process it? And how do you keep yourself moving forward? Well, work isn't everything in life. Most of you are going to devote a substantial amount of your daily lives to some pursuit that you find worthy. And all I can tell you is that showing up day after day as a diligent, committed person is going to take you much further than what you might expect and what many of your peers out there are going to do. You know, I wasn't the most talented student to arrive at Michigan. I certainly wasn't the best lawyer that ever joined Kirkland & Ellis. I'm clearly not the smartest person working at Vista. But I am someone that has relentlessly pursued my goals and really kept my goals in front of me, always moving forward. So great, you're going to work hard. You're going to have that stamina. Well, how do you do that? The next most important thing, or my next piece of advice for all of you, is that you won't be able to commit yourself the way you need to commit yourself unless you find something that you're truly passionate about. And by the way, it's okay if you don't find that right away. You know, they tell you do what you love, but it's not always easy to find out what you love until you actually find it. Very few people have a career that's linear. Nowadays, people are going to move from one thing to the next. They're going to find out something that they're good at. Maybe they're going to find out something that they're not so good at. But someday, I hope that you will find your passion and you will throw everything into it. And it's okay if you don't find it right away. I was 29 years old, almost turning 30, when I found out what I was supposed to do on this earth. And that's when I joined Honigman Miller and became a corporate lawyer, and I knew that's what I was put here to do. So don't worry if you don't find it right away. It's okay. You can get a little bit of a late start like me. It'll turn out all right if you find out what you need. So I would just tell you, you're going to have a long career. You won't be able to make the sacrifices that success requires. You won't be able to sustain it if you're not doing something that is a love of yours and that you feel is worthy and of your time and that you have passion for. So I would just encourage you, if you don't find it right away, don't worry, keep looking and find it. The third thing that I'll tell you is you've heard of the expression, don't be afraid of failure. It's a fixture of commencement speeches like this at prestigious universities. While there's some important humility in that lesson, I don't think you should go about life trying to wait for failure. I try and think about it another way. Be willing to take risks and put yourself in uncomfortable situations where you're unproven and see what you can do. Throughout my career, I was given opportunities to do things that I was completely unproven in. I certainly was unproven as a lawyer because it's not like my juice sales really prepared me for that. When I decided to move to Kirkland & Ellis, I loved being a lawyer, and I was jumping into a new environment where I was going to focus on private equity, unsure if I was actually going to be good at it or not. When Kirkland asked me to move to San Francisco and lead an office, I'd never had that experience before, but I wanted to see what I could do. And then when I got called by my largest client to pivot my career from law to finance, I certainly had no proven ability as an investor in the finance world, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to keep doing what I can do to see where I'm going to fail. And so I put myself in these uncomfortable situations and was I guess, willing to fail, but fundamentally wanting to find out what I was capable of doing. And I will just encourage you, you will never regret if you bet on yourself. The decisions that I made in hindsight as I stand here seem very obvious. They seem like no-brainers. I can tell you in every one of those moments, they were fraught with uncertainty, with nervousness, with not knowing if this next thing was going to be where I was found out. A lot of us have imposter syndrome. I certainly do as well. And so that willingness to push through and find out is what helped open up a world to me that I didn't know existed based on the way that I grew up. So last but not least, I think one of the great life hacks is gratitude. You will have a happier life, you will have a more successful career if you approach life through the lens of gratitude. All of us, you're all incredibly talented people. You've all obviously worked very hard to get here, and I'm sure many of you are going to work hard in the next phase of your life. In my professional career, I run into many people who are talented and they work hard and they're entitled and have no gratitude. They don't understand this third element, that in order to be successful, you've got to be a little bit lucky. There's someone that chose to mentor you for no random reason. You made a career decision that you weren't sure was going to work out or not, and it turned out to be a fantastic decision. If you can hold on to that notion that it's not just about me, that my success is not just because I'm so good and because I work so hard, but because there's been this other hand out there touching me along the way and guiding me and giving me these opportunities, I think you'll be a much happier person, and you'll approach the sacrifices that you make to be successful with joy rather than with burden. You know, I'm in a role where I deal with problems all day. And when I'm really having a tough day and I feel like a lot's coming at me, I sit back and I say, you know what? People would love to have my problems. And it completely reframes my mind. And as I encounter that problem, I say, I'm the one that gets to have this problem. How lucky is that for me? And that's what drives me and gives me energy as I go through the difficult moments that we're all going to face. So I would just encourage you, as you're moving through your career, to keep hold of that gratitude, to try and fight the urge to be entitled, because it's in all of us. We've all worked hard. We think there's certain things that we deserve. But be grateful, enjoy your journey. And I think, you know, my wife, Emily, who's here in the audience, she will tell you that through 30 years of really hard work, I've really had a lot of fun and have enjoyed the journey. And I think it's because of this notion of gratitude that infuses me every day. Now, last but not least, I am an investor in technology. So I do want to spend a minute talking about generative AI. You're like, oh, shit. So listen, generative AI is going to profoundly change knowledge workers. There are 1 billion knowledge workers in the world. Many of those jobs are going to be profoundly affected, including the legal profession. I'm not smart enough to tell you exactly how it's going to be affected, but I know it will be, and this technology is rapidly developing. What I would encourage each of you to do is to embrace it, to make it a strength, to understand it, to figure out how to harness it, to understand what its weaknesses are, and to not avoid it or be afraid of it, but to embrace it. Those of you that embrace this technology are going to be much further ahead than those that do not. And so don't view it, I'm a software investor. We don't view generative AI as a threat. We view it as an opportunity. And you all should view it as an opportunity yourselves. You know, one of the great things, you are all studying law that's like 100, 200 years old. This is all new. So you're at the very forefront of it, and you're in the best position to embrace it, to leverage it, and to make it really an important part of your career. So I would encourage you to do so. You're going to have to be flexible. You're going to have to be adaptable. You're going to have to think in new paradigms and in new ways, but I would encourage you to do it. And as the dean and I were talking about earlier today, you know, Michigan is going to have to figure it out as well as we prepare students for the coming generations of lawyers. So, class of 2025, be grateful for the challenges that you're about to face. Because I'm up here, I get to spend a minute telling you what I'm grateful for. Looking out at all these proud parents and family members, I can't imagine the times that you're going to have tonight celebrating this amazing success. I know how hard it is to get through this. But I'm reminded how grateful that I am. Through my journey, I've had an amazing wife that's been by my side. She met me while I was at Michigan, and she's been with me for 36 years. I've got 3 wonderful kids that remind me, Dad, you're no big deal. Like, come on, guys, today. Yesterday, they told me how their commencement speakers were completely unforgettable. So that's kind of what you want going into a speech like this. And I have my 2 brothers with me today who, if anyone taught me grit and toughness, it was growing up with those 2 brothers of mine. So thank you for being here as well. You know, Dean Logue mentioned my father, who didn't graduate high school, was a butcher, and rose to be an executive with A&P Supermarkets. For some of you in the audience, you'll remember A&P. And he taught me how to work hard. My mother, who also grew up in rural Canada and also did not graduate high school. She went back to school in her 50s and got her GED, and then was a tutor for 20 years helping other kids get their GEDs. So while my dad taught me how to work hard, my mom, she taught me how to work smart, and they both enabled me to be here today. So I would just like to say, work hard and sustain it. Find your passion. Be grateful along the way of your journey, and push yourself into uncomfortable situations where you will grow, and someday you will be someplace that you aren't supposed to be. So thank you very much, and go Blue!
Thank you, David. That was great. So now I come to the most important part of my job, which is to give you instructions about the next stage. So the 3L members of the Head Notes are coming forward. You can see them coming forward now. They're Michigan Law's student a cappella group, and they're going to sing to celebrate our graduating class. They'll begin with Yellow and the Blue, which is, of course, the alma mater. For those of you who didn't know, it's Michigan's other fight song. During the alma mater, we will all stand. The Head Notes will then sing the Victors, which is, of course, their actual Michigan fight song. And I should warn you that they'll come to a point in the Victors song where it will seem appropriate and people around you will begin pumping their fists, and I might do the same. Feel free, even if you're not a Michigan grad, to join in. So please stand then for the singing of the alma mater, followed by the Victors. Thank you, Head Notes. So we've arrived at the part of the program that you've all been waiting for. Graduates, it's now your turn. Your turn to be celebrated and honored as you negotiate this obstacle course that we've set up here. So here's how it's going to work. Your names will be read, and then you will ascend along the path down here, and you will receive your hood, right? And we do it a little differently than some schools do. We have you hooded by your professors and some of our administrators. So Professor Sherman Clark, Margaret Hannon, Leah Littman, Barb McQuaid, Steve Schaus, the aforementioned Senior Assistant Dean Sarah Zierfoss, or Assistant Dean Eric Christensen will either call your name or they will hood you. They will alternate. There are basically 3 steps to this process. You'll come up and get hooded, and then after they hood you, they'll touch you on your back when it's time for you to cross the stage. You will walk across here and then turn and smile at the camera, and then you will walk across the stage here where you'll be greeted by Assistant Dean of Student Affairs Kim Dane or Strategic Academic and Co-Curricular Programs Manager Alexis Bailey, and they will hand you something. It will not be your diploma. Why not? Because we haven't quite graded your exams yet. Once we're done with that, you'll get your diploma in the mail. What you will receive is instead a certificate of membership in the Lawyers Club, and you'll be welcome to return whenever you like. So this is your special moment. If you happen to trip a little or your name's mispronounced, it'll be okay. It's happened before. We'll go in this order, first the JD students and then the LLM students, and I have these final instructions. So as members of the graduating class, as your classmates come forward, obviously feel free to cheer. I don't have to tell you that. You should feel free to cheer. I will tell your family and friends you should also feel free to cheer. It will not embarrass your son or daughter or niece or nephew if you scream at the top of your lungs their childhood nickname. Totally fine. This is not a competition, however. You should just do your best. Okay, graduates, shall we? On behalf of all of us, congratulations to the JD and LLM members of the 2025 graduating class of the University of Michigan Law School.
Alex Abraham. Anna Sophia Aker. Ali Jamal Al-Kobaisi. Sylvia Al-Mateen. Rebecca Albaitis. Hannah Alberry. Juliette Alpert. Gavin Amazaga. Amna Amin. Ethan Anderson. Ava Andrews. John Angelari. Allison Anker. Matthew Appel. Stephen Arthur. Caleb Ashley. Cecilia K. Atkins. Tyler Augustensen. Camille Avella. Kavitha Babu. Diana Bay. Kendrick Eugene Kono Baker. Neil Bakshi. Andrew David Baptist. Lindsay Barnett. June Batches. Scott Bays. Jack Beck. Adam Belkabir. Anna Benham and Lute. John Bergeson. Andrew Bylick. Rebecca Bitar. Isabel Blakeway Phillips. Zoe Bowers. Leon Boykins. Connor Bulka. Spencer Bunting. David Canada. Zachary Cantor. Ellie Carl. Claudia Castre. Caleb Chadwell. John Chafee. Matthew Chang. Tara Chapman. Tiffany Yunting Chiang. Leah Humble Caramonte. Sarah Hei-Young Cho. Jonathan Church. Kara Claflin. Nathan Clare. Charles Clark. Lilian Clavijo Hernandez.
Alexandra Corcoran. Timothy James Dalrymple. Harry Davis III. Holden Joseph DeGrave. Lutess Decker. Anthony DeLauro. William Dempsey. Carl Dennis. Harsuk Singh Dillon. Munshan Deer. Jacqueline Exie Diggs. Caitlin Duma. Eamon Duff. Emma Duggan. Sneha Durgapal. Alia Atasham. Arthur Etter. Patrick Fallon. Samuel David Falter. Kathleen Faraci. Dean Farmer. Christopher Sunnylee Fang. Vivian Michelle Fernandez. Achel Fernando Perez. Catherine Rose Finley. Renee Firth. Alec Jennings Fishbein. Danica Catherine Fong. Nicholas Kingsley Pierre Foulon. Claudia Añaveros Franco. Patrick Fraser. Sunita Ganesh. Nico Jakakis. Jumi George. Olivia Rose Gingold. Anna Gleason. Jillian Shea Gordner. Haley Badger Gordon. Jessica Graysick. Charles Graham III. Hank Graham. Haley Gray. Ethan Morrison Greenberg. Jake Grossman. Carol Guarneri. Salvatore Guido. Jackson Guilford. Sophia Gerges. Ismail Gunachar. Alexander Nathan Haft. Tess Hancock. Alexandra Quinn Hargrave. Drew Harper.
Imran Hassan. Kate Hauersberger. Caleb Hapatos. Noah Thomas Hellam. Sophia Hennings. Ilana Herbst. Ellison Hirsch. Isabel Patricia Hershey. Alyssa J. Hainan. Braxton James High. Brian Christopher Hill. Elise Louisa Hocking. Chloe Hetcher. Joseph L. Honeycutt. Joseph W. Hoppy. Mara Cabianca Horn. Samantha J. Houghton. Frank J. Huang. Carlos Hurtado Esteve. Carmen Hurtado Esteve. Abdullah Ibrahim. Jacqueline Sharon Ingracia. Alexander Jacob Isbicki. Dimitar Otso Jakumovsky. Caroline James. Ryan Jansen. William German. Miley Kahualani Johnston. Ava Jones. Nat Jordan. Neil C. Joyce. Rohan Kandeshwarat. Zach Kaplan. Ryo Kawashima. Charisma Lee Keaton. Daniel Kim. Jisei Kim. Lydia Hwangyang Kim. Stephanie Kim. Zachary E. Connect. Natalie Ray Knowles. June Ko. Willie Koch. Abigail Cohn. Rudy Kopiker. TJ Corey. Daniel H. Kozak. Emily Ann Krejci. Alex M. Kramer. Michelle Kung. Daniel Kwan. Selena T. LaBear. Hayden Charles Lambert. Karen Marie Laska.
Giovanni Lavoie. Ryan Lawton. Kang Wook Lee. Ka-young Lee. Katerina Leskovar. Lauren Dominic Lewis. Lauren Elaine Lewis. George Lilly. Corey Lipton. Rosella Lochurco. Maria Locicero. Marissa London. Ellery Longden. Alexander Lopez. Emily Yuri Lovell. John Lutz. Kim Lee. Nathan Lyon. Sahan Ma. Samuel Macy. Lisha Mahajan. Zanyar Mansubi. Marlisa Marquez. JJ Marshall. Pilar Martinez. Zeta Mason. Sarah Mastrian. CJ Matsinier. Sophie Matten. Kerrigan McCabe. Sean Patrick McCarthy. Connor James Patrick McCruskey. Sean Herman McGowan. Michael McInerney. Keenan McMurray. Lacey Malassi. Ann Gibson Minor. Savannah Marie Miracle. Madison Mitzner. Isaura Mora. Madeline Massolino. Rosalie Moss. Sylvia Mueller. Connor Mulvena. Mohammed Musani. Iman Naga. Cole Newcomb. Kyle O'Hara. Sehan O. Jacinta Anu. Daniela Ordonez. Pablo Renan Ordonez. Kate Oringer. Trevor Outlaw. Caitlin Parenduke. Javier Paredes Heredia. Miles Parkhurst.
Tara M. Patel. Bansri Patel. Jasmine Chanel Patterson. Liza Mary Patterson. Liam Gunning Pembroke. Rosalia Pembroke. Grace Mary Peters. Rory Peters. Justin William Peterson. Hannah Catherine Petty. Malcolm Phelan. Gordon Francis Pignato. Priyanka Padugu. Micah Pollins Dempsey. Alexander M. Porter. Sarah G. Portwood. Sofia Puerto. Jordan Elise Puig. Lulu Chien. Aisha Qureshi. Nathan Alexander Reiser. Matthew G. Rice. Jude T. Rich. Catherine Refiotis Slavinsky. Matthew J. Riley. Tomas Rios. Alexander J. Rivard. Alex Rizzuto. Maria Rogers. Nathan William Roon. Jalen Rose. Kathleen Ross. Olivia M. Round. Arian Carlo Rubio. Jung-Hua Ryu. Leah Saffer. Cameron L. Sanix. Christopher Saunders. Alyssa Irene Shams. Matthew Shainthal. Andrew M. Schrader. Taya Elaine Schutte. Elena C. Schultz. Misha Swadron. Anna Karina Samide. Kevin Senra Rivero. Eric Andrew Shalloway. Sarah E. Shapiro. Muskan Sharma. Samuel Parkman Shaw III. Fadi Abdullah Shahada. Luke Sherry. Jeffrey Simmons. Richard Mays Sinclair. Crystal Carmen Singh. Jaden A. Smith. Lauren Smith. Maya J. Smith.
Jillian Sneeman. Billy Stamfel. Ian Connor Stevens. Ryan Stoltz. Isabel Sullivan. Frank Sun. Jasmine Zabo. Brian Tang. Zachary Tarno. Jebediah Taylor. Trevor Alexander Tesserero. Jasmine Thomas. Devonte Timms. Sophie Alden Toll. Natalie Tracy. Alexander A.J. Sang. William Shearhart. Madeline Turk. Meredith Yulee. Jessica Olam Minnick. Valentina Urea. Peter Van Dyken. Grace Vidok. Aaron Vogt. Kelsey Vogt. Alexander Vota. Renuka Wag. Nishe Wine. JJ Wong. George Adam Ward. Tyler Robert Watt. Kelly Kennedy Wester. Jack Wycamp. Ebony White. Daria Weitzman Wick. Emma Wilfong. Evan John Williams. Jemiah Marie Williams. Vanessa Wilson. Valentina Wolf. Alden Woods. Dominic Woods, Jr. Ivy Wysong. Hazel Yang. Karen Yi. Heidi Yin. Daniel Euclid. Warda Yusuf. Lauren Yoon. Alexandra Lowther Sablocki. Trayton Znuto. Rena L. Zhang. Michael Eugene Zhao. Wyatt Zimbelman. Laura Zwo.
Ana Lucia Acuna Remusco. Elena Adriansen. Victoria Baumgartel. Mario Campos. Xiaoran Chen. Gotia Clausen. Haruno Fukatsa. Lautaro Garcia Alonso. Benedict Graminger. Deborah Natasia Gunawan. In Hu. Amerthya Kanjalal. Sulav Karel. Sravani Kura. Punya Meharothra. Finley Fanri Mung. Daniel Alberto Ortega Chamlati. Yu Ching Chin. Leonie Schwaneka. Afrore Shaipi. Kaoru Terauchi. Kosuke Terauchi. Michael T. Chu, Jr. Tuvie Elizabeth Towe. Bernice Marie Villalago. Maximilian Wilden. Yufei Fei Wu. Yujun Zhang. Brittany Lynn Dorton.
So I'm going to ask you in just a moment to give one final congratulations to this class, but I have to give you some instructions first. So the stage group will leave first in roughly the order that they arrived, and then the students, the graduates now, will follow us. And if the audience would wait until the graduates have left, that will make things work a little better. And then if you will join us in the law quad, it would be lovely to see you there, and I can meet many of you if you're there. So now let's take one last time to congratulate this amazing class of 2025.